Other limitations would obviously be like lung health is always going to be a concern whenever you're dealing with inhalation.
Medical marijuana can actually help to balance that system out. Is inhaling marijuana really medicinal? Many people see this as the face of medical marijuana. But the question remains, is inhaling marijuana really medicinal? I got to tell you, the answer to the question might just surprise you. Stay tuned to find out. So before we get into answering our question, I think it's important to discuss the endocannabinoid system, because it's essential to understand how our body interacts with cannabis. And I think a lot of people just don't know that. So everyone is born with something called an endocannabinoid system. And what it is, it's a series of receptors that run all throughout the body. And it's in charge of balancing all of our major functions. So in order for us to achieve something called homeostasis, we have to have that system balanced in order for us to achieve that, which is our natural state of healing. Now, endo means inside. Cannabinoid means cannabis, which is parts of the plant. Well, our body already produces those called endocannabinoids. So our system is almost hardwired for cannabis. So over time, though, this endocannabinoid system just gets pounded, right? And that's with toxins in the air, synthetic pharmaceuticals, alcohol, processed foods. All of these things just kind of beat up on that system over time, and it wears it down. And what ends up happening is that gaps form, right? And what falls in between is illness, disease. Sometimes they can be pretty debilitating depending how severe. So medical marijuana can actually help to balance that system out. When it's used with intention, we can metabolize those, turn those cannabinoids into endocannabinoids and help heal and balance that system. But the question still remains, though, how does inhaling marijuana enhance or not help this process whatsoever? So Jamie, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the benefits of inhaling marijuana?
Yeah, absolutely. Inhalation actually provides relief because the cannabinoids enter the bloodstream directly through the lungs, bypassing the liver. This can especially be helpful for patients with digestive issues like Crohn's disease and fibromyalgia. Other conditions as well are treated through inhalation include chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, nausea from chemotherapy, and other conditions that require fast relief if necessary. The quick onset allows patients to control their dosage more effectively than oral consumption.
And that's pretty, I think, beneficial as well, because when you take an edible, for example, right, it can take up to 2 hours to take effect. And if you're in a lot of pain, 2 hours feels like 2 days, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I think that's an important thing to talk about.
And I think kind of the flip side to the control too is that it also wears off a little more quickly. So depending on who you are and how you're trying to medicate, that can kind of be either a benefit or a limitation, kind of depending on how you're looking at it. Like you said, some people really like the control, and so they don't like to be medicated for long periods of time. Just the idea of that is kind of a turnoff for them. And so they like something that's going to be in and out of their system quickly just for when they need it. But like I said, for other people who are looking for more long-term relief from more chronic symptoms, they're looking for something more substantial. So they see that actually as like a limitation and more of a drawback to the inhalation than a benefit. Other limitations would obviously be like lung health is always going to be a concern whenever you're dealing with inhalation. You're going to hear rumors about how the vaping is more regulated and it's more gentle, but there's really no science yet to back those. It's really all just kind of personal experience and hearsay. But the biggest limitation is always going to be that the inhalation, like Jamie had kind of touched on, it's going to bypass the liver. That also means that it's not interacting directly with your endocannabinoid system. And so for the inhalation, all that you're ever really going to do is kind of treat the symptoms after the problem gives you the symptoms. You're never going to get ahead of it and start healing the problem and getting to the solution. You're always going to just be cleaning up after the mess.
Exactly. It's like you're constantly chasing that pain, constantly chasing the symptoms that are causing the problem, but you're not really helping heal it in a preventative manner, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, ultimately, inhalation routes, they're going to be for treatment and instant relief.
Yes.
And still, if that's your only route, just remember, you're constantly chasing that pain. You're not really going to be helping balance your system so you can mitigate that pain ongoing in a preventative manner. So let me tell you, if you've had enough of the synthetic pharmaceuticals that end up causing more problems than they're actually helping, and you're looking for a natural alternative, come to My Florida Green. Go to myfloridagreen.com, click Get Started, and we can help. Because, medical marijuana is so much more than this. And when used with intention, it can really lead to outcomes that look a lot like this.
Tell us about the prescription medications that you've been able to get off of completely because of access to cannabis.
Well, and mind you, the ones that I were on, I was taking all at the same time. Mm-hmm. It was 100 mic fentanyl patch, oxycodone 30s, Soma, muscle relaxers, and gabapentin and methadone.
That is unbelievable. You were taking all this at the same time.
All that for, I've had surgeries on my neck and back, numerous surgeries, and that's what they were.
I noticed you have a cane.
Yeah, that's what they were prescribing it for.
Yeah.
And
isn't that kind of a lethal dose too? Like if you take the wrong one at the wrong time, I mean, they're going to kind of piggyback off of one another, could kill you.
So I think if I was still on it to this day, I might not be around.
Yeah. Fentanyl patches I know are very risky. I know they find people who have overdosed on fentanyl patches often.
Yeah.
Well, man, congratulations. It's such an honor to be a part of your transformation.
So if any of this resonates at all with you, visit myfloridagreen.com, click Get Started to begin that journey, and come in. We're going to help get you educated and get you off on the right foot with a natural alternative without all of the nasty side effects of the synthetic pharmaceuticals. And something that we're always looking to do is build our community of healers. We learn so much from each other, and I think it's important to build this community, and that's what we want to be here at My Florida Green. So if you have a story to share that's been really impactful for you with your journey with medical marijuana, share it in the comments. If you have questions, share those in the comments. We're happy to help and get you the answers that you need to get you some relief.